Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hytale News on the Hytale News Network. I'm your host, Hex, and today we'll be taking a deeper look at the new structures that were revealed in Hytale's last blog post, World Gen Introduction. But first, I'd like to thank you all for getting the last episode of Hytale News up to 150 views in under 24 hours, and all the positive comments surrounding it both in the comment section and on Reddit. And finally, a super special thanks to that one guy who watched HNN on their Nintendo Wii. Whoever you are, you're the true MVP here. And with that out of the way, let's get back to the show. Here we are again. The first screenshot of the blog post showcasing 7 structures as well as an overview of what Zone 1 can look like. The first structure we'll analyze is this obvious watchtower in the lower section of the frame. Upon closer investigation and cross-referencing with concept art, we've come up with the assumption that this structure may potentially be one of the military outposts that were available for viewing on Hytale's site, albeit with some structural differences due to this concept art being a very early rendition of the model. Judging by the overgrowth surrounding the structure, as well as damaged wall and floor segments, it may be safe to assume that this structure is either abandoned or filled with aggressive wildlife and NPCs. The next structure we'll be looking at is this outpost to the far right of the frame, showcasing a wooden wall and a small watchtower, as well as the archaic use of bones as a structural support. It's safe to assume that this outpost is not in the control of allies, but most likely Trorks or other hostile NPCs capable of building. Be careful when walking near these things. Next on our list is a lonely watchtower near the center of the screenshot. This is actually the same watchtower from that other screenshot, where the tower is poking into a ravine, just from a different perspective. There isn't really much else to say about this apart from the fact that some NPCs are visible in this second screenshot. It is unclear whether these NPCs are friendly or hostile at this time, so I'd recommend keeping your distance until further notice. On a side note, birds! Anywho, the next structure for us to look at is this damaged bridge a short walk away from our last target. Taking a closer look at the structure, we can make out 2 heavily damaged floors as well as vines hanging off the structure. A third destroyed support beam can be seen to the right of the complex, leading us to believe that this once magnificent structure experienced a catastrophic structural failure at one point in its life. The next target is more or less the same thing, just further out in the distance, so there's really no point in going over it. Out on the far left side of the frame, we can see what seems to be another outpost, featuring a taller watchtower and slightly less bones. Once again, keep your distance from these unless you're here to clear them out. There are 2 other structures in this image, but there simply isn't anything too interesting about them, so we're just going to skip them for now. Like, seriously, here's a collapsed building, and here's some crates, I guess? I don't know. Have fun with that one. Our next screenshot shows us a close-up of a tower, and a close-up of one of those outposts we analyzed in our last segment. The tower features stone and wood construction with 5 floors, with the first floor being the biggest, most probably to allow space for a stairwell network. On the back of the building, we can vaguely see parts of a balcony railed with what appears to be stone fencing or rails, confirming those as building materials available for us to use. While the building itself looks impressive, it is important to note that this building is currently controlled by Trorks, as evident by a Trork warrior guarding the area. Moving our attention over to the outpost, we can see a basic wood wall slightly protecting one face of the 2-building complex. There really isn't much else to say apart from that. Apart from buildings, we can also see 2 animals walking around in frame, a sheep doing seemingly nothing, and a fox hiding behind a rock. In the last episode of HNN, I mentioned a sunken city in this image. While nobody caught that mistake yet, I'm apologizing now because that description was obviously misleading. This looks like a sunken cultural site or town more than anything else, as evident by that monument to the right of the site. Upon closer investigation, these buildings extend further back out of range of the camera than the scan I made before, so there's that to look forward to. Well everyone, that's all for this shorter episode of Hytale News. If you disliked this video for whatever reason, then you know what to do. But if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button and get subscribed for more high quality content like this. That's all for now. and I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you all so much for watching.